know as well, this gentleman's actually from Liverpool as well, local. His name is actually Mike Lane, and he's actually been seeking to get some treatment for cancer for 8 months now, and has not been able to get it because of this COVID-19 situation we find ourselves in. So he's literally going to come up and give a speech for us right now, so welcome to stage, my friend.
We need to spread out.
Sorry about that. I need to lose some weight. Can everyone hear me properly? Look, I just want to ask you, what do you think of Uncle Joe? Uncle Joe Anderson. 7 million he got to lock us down. £7 million. You see, the Labour Party will do anything to get money. You know, I know for a fact that they've been moaning at the central government for the last 8 months for money, more money and money, so that Joe can use that money for his pet sort of projects, you know. And this is what the Labour Party is. A deceptive party. That last speaker who was up then, you better believe what he said. He's telling you the truth. You know, these people deal in deception and they deceive you, and every narrative they put out is a deceptive narrative. Now the Echo last night shocked me. It's gone to a new low. You know, those rat councillors that come on saying that we should all be locked up. Lock them up. You know, these people are all narcissists. The whole political system in this country, this is what you've got to understand. Please take this in. It's took a couple of 100 years in this country for local government and for central government and local government to evolve. Do you understand me? A couple of 100 years. It's not a democracy. It's evolved in such a way, so that narcissists and psychopaths are at the top. They're not our leaders. They're not speaking on our behalf. They want to tell us what's best for us. Now I want to tell you something today. I've come here today, right, to tell you about me. I haven't come in here today to impose anything on you. I've got no agendas whatsoever. I've got cancer. What bloody agenda would you have if you've got cancer? You know, and why have I got cancer? I've got cancer because of late diagnosis. Well, you know, it's really bad. I've got a large tumour. Why? Because of late diagnosis. Even though I was sent to see a surgeon specialist, right, he never saw me for months. And even after he saw me, it took months to have the various things, CT scans, MRI scans, and it took me 7 months to get to what's called a sigmoid oscopy. Right? And you know what? It should have only took a month. Because I should have been fast-tracked, but I wasn't. Why? Because of this bloody COVID virus. I'm not saying this virus doesn't exist, it does. But it's just like a flu. My mate's got it, Paul Rimmy, you may have heard of it, he ran for mayor at Liverpool. He's got the COVID virus now. Right? And you know what? He's nearly got over it in a week. He's nearly got over it, and I think he's 57. What I'm trying to get across to you is this, and you all know, it's like, I don't want to preach to the already converted. What you all know is 99.9% of people recover from this. Now the most vulnerable, which I'm in, I'm one of the most vulnerable. They should have got the most vulnerable and, you know, isolated us. Not you. The most vulnerable. And there's about 4 million of us in the country, 3 or 4 million. But give us a financial incentive to stay in. And give us the proper services. But no, not these idiot, psychopathic, narcissistic politicians at central government level and at local government level. They didn't want to do that. They wanted to lock everyone down. You know why? There's a freight train coming down the track. Call me a conspiracy theorist if you like. What's on that bloody freight train? That's what we've got to look at. If they're going to lock the whole country down because of the flu virus, what's next? What's on the freight train? What nasties are on that freight train that's coming down the track? And who's behind all this? Yeah, go on. And who's behind all this? billionaires, 2,215 of them on the planet, that's all. Right, and there's a coterie of 40 or 50 of them at the top out of them 2,000. One of them's George Soros, we all know him. And Bill Gates, the psychopath Bill Gates, there's a coterie there, and they want to control the world's population. They want to depopulate us. You're all going to die! We're all going to die, don't you understand that? But you know why we're not going to die? Because I'm a Christian and this is a Christian nation. No! Why I'm not going to die, or why we're not going to die, because God will not be mocked.
Hey.
You can't. God won't be mocked. God won't let these people do what they want to do to us, if that's their intention, which I think it is. But it's about time we woke up, and it's sad that there are more people here today. There's still thousands here, but there's sad there should be more, because the British people are brainwashed. They're brainwashing our children from childhood up. We have an educational system where all the teachers are brainwashed, and they in turn are brainwashing the children. The BBC never stopped brainwashing us. The Liverpool Echo, who owns the Liverpool Echo? You probably know who owns the Liverpool Echo. Trinity Publications. What other paper do they use? They own the Daily Mirror. It's supposed to be the paper that represents the working class people. What a load of crap! The Daily Mirror, that's the paper that's coming down heavy upon us at the moment. The Daily Mirror, that owns the Liverpool Echo, the Manchester Evening News, and all the other newspapers in the north of England. Do you know they have a meeting every day up in London? Trinity Mirror do, in their main office. And they have a meeting and they decide what the agenda is for the next day. What's the agenda? What's going to be written in the newspapers? That was disgraceful what the Echo wrote yesterday. Journalists of the Liverpool Echo, are you human or are you all psychopaths? What are the journalists? Journalists take, journalists become journalists to hold power. They hold power to, what's that word? No, they hold power. They're supposed to be there to hold power accountable, to go up and ask them what to do. But they're not. They're working in collusion with the state machine and the government. And the state machine's totally different than the government. That's those evil senior civil servants at central government level in Whitehall. Take it from me, I've researched it for years. I've been involved in projects, I've been a truth seeker for the last 25 years. And I'm telling you, and I'll get back to what I was saying before, I don't know if I mentioned this before, I haven't come here today to tell you what to do. I haven't come here today like Uncle Joe, as your paternal figure, to tell you what's best for you. I've come here to speak as me. If you want to listen to me, that's up to you. Because you know what? You're far greater than me. Collectively, you're far greater than me. You make the decisions, not Uncle Joe in the Liverpool City Council, who only cares about his pet projects and getting the 7 million. But anyway, I'm scared. I've got cancer and I'm scared. I'm 66 years old and I'm just as scared of dying now as when I was 26. I'm just as scared of dying as when I was 26. And right, shit, I'm scared. I mean, I've got to go in for the demonic operation, and before that operation, I've got to have the demonic, we all know, chemotherapy, which will destroy my immune system. And what a time to get cancer now. What a time to have chemotherapy now when there's a so-called virus stuffing around. I'll be susceptible to it. But I trust in God. I'm not going to die. You know why? Because of my belief in Jesus Christ.
Hallelujah!
But I say to you people here today, I love all of you people. I don't care whether you're on the left or the right or what political ideology you've got. I love you, and I battle, and I've battled all my life for my freedom, and for your freedom. It's my duty as a Christian to tell you what's going on and try to put the truth of God across to you in the best way that I can. And you know what? The truth is simple. It's simple. You only need a simple dialogue to tell the truth. You don't have to go into, like the Labour Party, this deceptive narrative that they put out in their newsletters. I say to all the 99 councillors or 96 councillors in this city, You should be ashamed of yourselves. You should be ashamed of yourselves. And I say to Joe Anderson, how the hell do you sleep of the night, Joe? How do you sleep of the night to put us in this phase 3 that we're in? And if you think it's bad here, it's even worse over in Dublin, in the Republic of Ireland. There's 5 or 6 million people in the Republic of Ireland. And you know what? They're going into stage 5 soon. And I'll mention this woman's name because I think this woman is a fantastic woman. And her name is Gemma O'Doherty. Gemma O'Doherty is an award-winning journalist. And she's been sacked from her job at the independent newspaper in Ireland. She's been sacked because she tells the truth. She's saying what I'm saying to you now. You know, and if you want to see her site, it's www.gemmaodoherty.com. And you want to listen to her. And that's only across the pond, you know, 20 minutes flight on a plane, 25 minutes, Dublin from here. So they're going through hell over there with the corrupt police force as well. You know, the Gardaí, that's a corrupt police force. But I could go on for ages, but I just want to tell you I'm angry. I'm angry because I was misdiagnosed. I was misdiagnosed by 2 doctors in the hospitals. They said I had diverticulitis. They never said it was a proper diagnosis. They said possible diverticulitis, and 2 GPs treated me for 6 months for diverticulitis. Do you know they were giving me antibiotics and I had bleeding cancer? And then the head doctor in there, I won't mention her name, she's a good doctor, she finally said there's something wrong here when she got onto my case and sent me to see the specialist. But it took nearly 8 months until I got the diagnosis when I was sent to see the specialist. So more people are going to die of cancer who would have survived than is going to die of the coronavirus. Because if Anderson has his way, they'll shut the hospitals down again. Because a doctor came out from the Royal on the news the other night and he said cancer sufferers are going to not get treatment. He said that on the TV, on the BBC, the British Brainwashing Corporation. But listen guys, go to the internet if you want news now. Don't believe the national media. It's working in collusion with the state. And as for the policemen here today, we're lucky the Liverpool policemen aren't too bad. If you want to see bad policing, go to the Metropolitan Police in London and see how bad they are. You know, these cops here are pretty okay, they're friendly. You know, they don't come charging in. You know what I mean? Like they do up in London. You know, give it time, one lady says. But I don't think they do. You know, the Scousers, aren't they? But anyway, look, I think I've said enough. I'm trying to find an issue. It was a drug, and I'll finish with this. We all know the drug, what's it? Hydrochloric supplement. Hydroxychloroquine. Now, if they give us that drug when we get this disease, it stems it off within 2 days. Yet they won't give us it. Why? Why the hell won't they give us it with zinc as well? What's going on? And I will conclude with this. Why, if we want to go for a drink, do we have to have a meal? Is the meal going to cure us of COVID-19? Anyway, listen everyone, I love you, and I hope I haven't depressed you.
Brilliant, thank you so much my friend. And just going on that as well, I'm actually on the Broad Green Hospital as well. My son's actually had a full heart transplant, so I'm so damn grateful to the NHS, let me tell you, because they saved him in Wythenshawe Hospital in Manchester. But I've actually got an ICD unit myself. I've got heart failure, even though I'm okay and my heart's kind of come back. In March, when the pandemic actually started, I had my hospital appointments cancelled over in Broad Green myself. So I chose to ring Broad Green and actually find out how many cases they had in the hospital at the time. And they actually had 24 cases in the middle of the pandemic. So we've got some friends around the world which are YouTubers and things like that as well. We had these people going in hospitals, and they're obviously doing off their own back as well, but sending us videos, and the hospitals really were empty through the middle of the pandemic. I had all of my hospital appointments cancelled just locally here in Broad Green as well. And again, obviously we love our NHS, they're absolutely amazing, but you know, the powers that be are absolutely screwing this NHS up. So we've actually got another lady who wants a couple of minutes to speak. Her name is Marie Harrison. She's actually a social worker and a nurse, and she just wants a couple of minutes to have a good chat with you. So welcome up, Marie.
Thank you, thank you. Good afternoon, Liverpool. Is everybody here proud of themselves? Because I'm proud of you, I'm proud of me. Okay? I'm not a public speaker. I'm a nothing. I'm a nobody. I hope you all know that. I'm standing here. My husband tells me every day, babe,
Yo, Isaiah.
love, why aren't you necking?
When you get the battery?
You're a nobody. Who are you? Who's going to listen to you? No one is going to listen to you. You've got no money. You've got no power. If what you're saying is right, the people at the top have got the money and the power. So the people at the top are going to win and you're going to be crushed. So just live in your little happy bubble. Live like a dog. Go for a walk around the park and come home and wag your tail. Or, in today's speak, go to work, pay your taxes, work hard all your life. You've done that. I've worked all my life. I'm a 56-year-old grandmother. I don't care about me. I'll be dead in 20, or maybe 10, or maybe if Bill Gates gets his way, in 2. I'll be dead soon anyway, one way or the other. I'm here because I've got 4 granddaughters. 4 granddaughters who've got a future and a life, who should have a free life, who should be able, now the little tots in school, they should be able to go to school and see their friends. They should be able to play. They should be able to say, Mummy, can my friend come for tea tonight? And we're going to play with Play-Doh, and we're going to play with our LOL dolls, whatever they are. But they should be able to have a life. They should not be masked. Okay, I know in England, children under 12 don't have to wear a mask. But in Scotland, children over 5 have to wear a mask. Coming here today, I have seen children 6 and 7 years of age, if that, with masks on. What's all that about? They don't have to wear a mask. They don't have to wear a mask. I see young people. I'm old, well, relatively old, but I see people in their 20s walking along the street in a hot summer's day. You're as safe as anything in the heat and the warmth. Wearing a mask, they're probably as healthy as they're ever going to be in their lives. Probably the healthiest they're going to be in their lives, and they're wearing a mask. Why? Why are they wearing a mask? I can only assume it's because if you wear a mask, you're telling the world, I'm a good person, look at me, I'm following the law, I'm a law-abiding person, I'm wearing a mask, look how great I am, I'm protecting you. Well, I'll tell you what, I don't want any 22-year-old to wear a mask to protect me. I'll drink wine at the weekend. I'll have a pizza or a kebab. I'll drink or eat junk food. I don't smoke. It's probably the only vice I haven't got. Or I will take responsibility for my own health. I know when I'm sick. If I've got a temperature, a cough, a sore throat, I feel wasted, I'll ring my mate and say, alright, oh Paul, oh she, I wanted to see you. I was going to come down and have a coffee with you, or a vodka, and a cheese butty. But I'm not, because I'm sick, so I'm going to stay at home. I don't want you to catch it. But you're not allowed to do that now. You're not allowed to know if you're sick yourself. You've got to have a test to tell you that you're sick when you didn't know you were sick. Makes sense to anybody. So, kudos to the colleague, not a colleague because we're not work colleagues, but we're all friends of, just being up to talk about his experience with cancer. So, my sister's got to have a knock with cancer, and it's on her nose and it's skin cancer. So we went to have a little meal. So we went to where I live, so nearby where I live, South Road, don't know whether you know it. few little bars, few little restaurants. Okay, let's go for a meal. So we go to I said, let's go somewhere quiet where we can talk. We don't want the music blasting out. We want to have a little gab and how are you, love, and all that. So we go to the pub, the Old Bank pub in South Road. Two people with a mask on. Where's your mask? I don't wear one. I'm exempt. You know, I'm exempt. We can't come in then. I said, well, what about him? So I'm here at the front at the door. And as far as that tripod is, there's a fella sitting at a table with no mask on. Oh, well, you see, love, just put your mask on. Come over to the table, sit down and take it off. I said, have you got any idea how ridiculous that sounds? Have you any idea? Oh, well, you know, that's what you've got to do. I said, well, forget it, we're not. So we go over the Raven. So you walk in there and the music's blasting, you can't hear yourself think. You haven't got to wear a mask, but you've got to write down your name and your email. So I wrote down Rosa Parks, email rosa.parks@iamafreeperson.com. Or used to be before the onset of this chaos anyway. So I'm out of here. So we go down to the Marine, fella at the door. Where's your mask? I don't wear a mask, I'm exempt. I'm under the Equality Act 2010. I don't need to wear a mask. Or you can't come in. I said, are you telling me that you're breaking the law? I said, because the Equality Act, unlike the Coronavirus Act, is an actual law that has been debated and passed in Parliament. Are you telling me I can't come in and use your goods and services when I've got an underlying health condition, I've got a disability? Oh, well, love, you know, it's not my fault. I said, well, whose fault is it? He said, I'm only doing what we were told to do. I said, well, it didn't work for the Nazis in the Nuremberg trials. When I bring my solicitor down here, you personally will be liable for a fine from £900 to £9,000 for refusing a woman with an underlying health condition your goods and services. Well, you still can't come in, we'll get fined by the police. At the same time, there's about 7 police vans going up and down South Road, a little fishing port just outside of Crosby. You know, nowhere major, not the crime capital of the world, not full of people who are the mafia, wanting to cause problems. Anyway, I go back to my husband's, what he says, you're nothing, you're nobody. Why are you even trying? And I'm going to say right now, I'm trying because I am a nothing and I am a nobody, and it's going to take millions and billions of nothings and nobodies to get this sorted out. It's going to take us all. So I just want to say one thing. I was in Trafalgar Square on the 19th of September and the 26th of September, and I was appalled at what I saw with the police. Now, I work a lot with the police, and I respect the police. They do a damn difficult job, and they're under the cosh like us all. In my job, I worked all my life in health and social care. I've been a nurse, an RGN for 16 years, then I trained as a social worker. I worked as a social worker together with me training over 20 years this year. And then I went last year to train as a mental health, as a therapist. So I've worked in health and social care all my life. And then in the last 18 months I've worked in mental health, and what I see is a tsunami of anxiety and depression. With all of this that's going on every day, all day. I hear people who are terrified, they think they're going to die, they won't sit in their own gardens, they won't go for a drive on their own because they're vulnerable, and they are vulnerable. The people with physical health conditions, and they are vulnerable. And people with physical, and I'm not saying that coronavirus doesn't exist. People will all have the different views. I believe it's a flu strain, a severe flu strain. I believe it's there. But why now? Why this virus? And okay, people will believe whatever they want to believe. I believe there's an agenda. Because these things do not happen happen. There's no such thing as coincidence, and it doesn't happen by coincidence, and it's been long planned. So everyone can, they want to believe David Icke, Vernon Court, I believe, I do believe it because I've seen it unfold before my eyes. It's coming to fruition now, okay? So some of the wildest stuff, people can choose to believe, not to believe, but things don't happen by accident. Why does Matt Hancock, every other word out of his mouth is vaccine? He's just parroting Bill Gates, vaccine, 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 if you don't get a vaccine. So what I want to know is if you work for the local authority and you pass a contract to a builder who you've got some financial investment in, that's fraud. You will be come up for discipline and you lose your job. So why is the chief scientific officer to the government got £600,000 worth of shares in vaccines? And yet he gets up with Chris Halfwitty and gives a presentation about how vaccines are the answer and everyone's got to be vaccinated, and yet there's not one member of the press there to ask a difficult question. Absolutely. So what you can kiss goodbye to, folks, is any autonomy over your own body. It starts with masks and it ends with vaccines. Okay? And I'll tell you now, I get emails every day telling me I've got to have my vaccine. I've had an email telling me it's my moral duty to have a vaccine, my moral responsibility to protect the services. Now let me tell you this, I've just told you I'm 56, I've worked all my life in health and social care, okay? I've stayed within my lane, I've kept my head down, I've been a good little citizen. I've gone to work, I've paid my taxes, I've followed policies and procedures, and I've never put my head above the parapet. I've been a good little citizen. So, I've had a couple of speed awareness courses, you know, for doing 33 and a 30. That's probably the most out of the law, most unlaw abiding I've ever been, is to have a couple of speed awareness courses. Is the head of my organisation seriously questioning my moral responsibility? My morals being questioned because I don't want to have a flu jab. That's what's happening. I don't want to have the flu jab. I've never had the flu jab. And the last time I had the flu was 2012. And I was off my feet for 5 days. I felt ill for 5 days. But I have a thing called an immune system. And that kicked into place. And I was better again. By some sort of miracle, I was better again. So I'm going to go now because I know there's other speakers, and like our previous lovely man, I could go on forever, so I won't. I'll just be a drone in your ear. But what I do want to say is a lovely man today called Anthony. He's over there, and his mum Irene. Over there, Anthony, give us a wave. Okay. So this morning I signed a petition. I only saw it this morning, so I'm ashamed to say. And it's repealed the Coronavirus Act. We've all got to get on and sign this petition. It's at 90 petition. It's at 90,000 signatures, 90,000 plus. It needs to be 100,000 to be debated in Parliament. So the reason I went to Trafalgar Square was the rally in advance of the review of the Coronavirus Act, because this Coronavirus Act gives our government unlimited powers to do whatever they want to do, whatever they see fit. Well, it's a precursor to totalitarianism. So I didn't know myself, and I'm supposed to read the law, that this man told me today, Anthony and his mum, that under the Coronavirus Act, anyone with a disability is going to be declined treatment if they go into hospital. Now, is there another way? But did we see that somewhere before, where people who are vulnerable, elderly, seem to be a problem, like Jews or black people or disabled people wouldn't get, you know, wasn't there somewhere in past history, not much more than a blink away, where there were problems there? So people are not going to get treatment if they're over a certain age or they have a disability. So thank you for letting me know, Anthony. I'm ashamed to say that I didn't already know it, but I was pleased to meet you today. Okay, so I'm going to go now. What I am going to say is this is only the beginning, guys. I didn't want to speak or put my head up because I don't want to lose my job either. We've all got to earn an income, and we've all got to live our lives. But if losing my job is what needs to be done, then so be it, because I've got 4 granddaughters lying on me. 4 granddaughters who need a future and who need a life. So thank you for listening, and stay strong, everybody, because we will go forward.
We have some of the most powerful. When you tell them the truth and you speak it from the heart, it literally comes out so powerful. So if you've never spoke before, then you wouldn't even realise. We actually had a surprise, guys. Seriously, I didn't even know this gentleman was going to come. But this guy that's just turned up today is a great friend of ours. Has put so much effort into what we're doing, and is actually the guy that sorted the light paper out, which is getting delivered all around the UK. Has anyone heard of the New World Order song?
Slow motion.
Well, the guy that's coming on next, Darren, a great friend of ours, has literally just turned up. So, stick New World Order with us. Welcome, Darren. Oh, 2 seconds. Can everyone please take 1 step back as well? We've really got to do it. Obviously there's so many people. We've got another lady that's just come out as well to speak to us, who's kind of a whistleblower, speaking about the elderly and the nursing homes. And this is all about our children and all about our elderly as well. So after Darren should be coming on as well. But if everyone could take like 1 massive step back, is that okay? Just so we can get all of our speakers out. There we go, Darren.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. Slow motion.
They tried to lock Liverpool down. Chippy Tip said yeah. Chippy Tip said yeah, you can bribe us. And the people said no. And that's how you stop it. The people coming together. People coming together and standing next to each other and supporting each other and saying no to tyranny. Because it's not going to stop. This is the problem that we have. All those people that are walking around in masks and letting their businesses go to waste and following the rules, they think if we follow the rules, then the rules will stop. And it's the opposite way round, and that's the message that we need to give them. You stop complying, we'll stop with the rules. Oi! You got knickers on your face, you big disgrace. If you told you not to wear shoes, would you sing a broken glass boo? I never thought I would see these days surrounded by a nation of sleeping slaves. Queue up at the shops outside 10 meters. Once you get inside, everyone's freezing by the breezes. What the hell's the point of keeping us apart outside? These people embezzle and lie and don't walk over up, raping children and a whole lot more. What the hell are you listening to what they say? Oh, don't you remember the gulags, the Stasi, the party in 1984? This ain't a brave new world at all. It's a very long way from normal. No matter what they say, wearing knickers on your face, keeping 2 meters space from everyone is completely abnormal.
Thank you.
I wrote a song 7 years ago when I woke up. Everybody says you should record it, it'll go to #1. I don't want to record it because it's a living song. Unfortunately, the tyranny keeps happening, and every few months I keep needing to add new verses. But everybody picks them up quite quickly.
Yeah.
You can stick your new world order up your ass. Come on, everybody. You can stick your new world order up your ass. You can stick your new world order where the sun don't shine but water. Stick your new world order up your ass. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 99%. Singing we are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. So we don't be arrested in a dressing gown. We don't be arrested in a dressing gown. We won't be arrested in a, 'cause she is such a sinner. Be arrested in a dressing gown. coronavirus up your arm. You can stick your coronavirus up your arm. You can stick your coronavirus. There are no unproven liars. Stick your coronavirus up your arm. Who are we? Stick it. We are the 99%. Sing it. We are the 99%. Sing it. We are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. And there'll be blue skies when the chemtrails are all gone. There'll be blue skies when the chemtrails are all gone. There'll be blue skies when the chemtrails and their evil plan fails. Blue skies when the chemtrails are all gone. You can stick your 5G towers up your arm. You can stick your 5G tower up your arm. You can stick your 5G tower. It's a microwave on full power. Stick your 5G tower up your arm. I sing it, we are the 99%. Sing it, we are the 99%. Sing it, we are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. You can stick your poison vaccines up your arm. You can stick your poison vaccines up your arm. You can stick your poison vaccines, cause they cause all the disease. Stick your poison vaccines up your arm. Stick it, we are the 99%. Come on! Sing it, we are the 99%. Sing it, we are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. Stick your TV programs up your arm. You can stick your TV programs up your arm. You can stick your GMO foods. We ain't gonna go to school. Stick your Georgia Guidestones up your arm. Stick it, we are the 99%. Stick it, we are the 99%. Sing it, we are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. I'd rather be a human than a slave. Oh, I'd rather be a human than a slave. Oh, I'd rather be a human. And don't you know that you can rather be a human than a slave? Let's sing it, we are 99%. Let's hear it. Sing it, we are 99%. Oh yeah. Sing it, we are the 90. Together we are mighty. We are the 99%. How's it go? You can stick your new world order up your arm. You can stick your new world order up your arm. Stick your new world order where the sun don't shine but water. Stick your new world order up your arm. Thank you. It might be a protest song from Manchester, but it works in Liverpool, it works in London, it works in Newcastle, it works in Bristol. It works in America, it works in Europe, it works everywhere. Just like this next song. We're all together, we're all one. One love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. Hear the children crying, one love. Hear the children crying, one heart. Give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Let's get together and feel alright. Whoa, 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 whoa. Let them all pass all their dirty remarks. There is one question I really love to ask. Is there a place for the hopeless sinner? Mankind just to save his own. Believe me, one love, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. together and feel alright. One more thing, let's get together to fight this whole lot again. So when the man comes, there will be no doom. Have pity on those whose chances grow thinner. There ain't no hiding place from the Father of creation. Sing it! One love. What about the one heart? One heart. What about the let's get together and feel alright? I'm pleading to mankind. One love. Whoa, one heart. Let's get together and feel alright. I give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. And let's get together and feel alright. I give thanks and praise to the Lord, and I will feel alright. Thank you so much. Let's keep that spirit going. We will win, but it's going to take a lot of work. We've got a mountain to climb. We're not going to back down because freedom belongs to every single one of us.
High energy, guys! Thank you so much, Darren. Absolutely amazing. So, the next lady we've got... I hate that mic stand. The next lady we've got to come on as well, I think she's hopefully just here. This lady's name is... Niamh McGarry-Gribben from Liverpool. She's a nurse of 27 years, a campaigner for the elderly and a whistleblower of neglect. She's only just come up to speak to us today, but this is why we're here, guys, to stand up against this government, for our kids and for our elderly. Is she here?
I'm right behind Jan.
Oh, there you are, cool. You want a hand up? Welcome.
Hello, Liverpool! Lovely to see a great crowd here, yes. I've been a nurse for 27 years. I started my career in what was known as Walton and Pazzackley back in the dark days. I was a theatre nurse for 6 years. I was a senior theatre nurse in Walton Euro, and when I did my theatre nursing course in 1994, there was a study down south about the efficacy of masks and whether theatre staff should wear the masks or not. It was proven that they offer no protection whatsoever, and it was decided that we kept wearing the masks just to protect the staff from blood splatter. There has been numerous studies into the efficacy of masks ever since. Recently, obviously because of everything that's going on and with my knowledge, I've been looking into the masks. And there was a study done in America recently of a child's mask who wore the same mask for 8 hours. There were colonies, 80 colonies of bacteria on that mask, 5 colonies of a virus, different viruses. And this is what we're breathing in. That's if you follow the rules. You're breathing in bacteria. 20 minutes after wearing the mask, they offer no protection whatsoever. They become saturated with the wearer's breath, allowing for two-way transmission of microbes. These increase cases of COVID and mask wearers. They are diagnosed with pneumonia, most probably from wearing the masks. Also, there have been increased cases of psoriasis and different skin conditions, impetigo and, sorry, there's one I've forgotten. And these are all being diagnosed through mask wearing, okay? I also want to talk about the elderly and what's been going on in the care homes. Once I left theatres, I went into care of the elderly. I was a nursing home manager for 21 years. I was a whistleblower in a notorious case of neglect in Liverpool. Since then, I've been campaigning for the elderly for the last 8 years. I have a Facebook page called Care Home Shook Care, where I have 15,000 followers.
and I support people around the country who are worried about their loved ones in care homes. Okay? Amnesty International published a report on the 4th of October investigating the neglect and abuse of our elderly in the care homes during this COVID pandemic. They have requested the government to conduct an investigation. They've got till the end of November in which to reply. 25,000 care home residents were discharged from hospital May and April of this year under government orders. So much for protecting Granny. Okay? 25,000 care home residents discharged from hospital with some positive COVID, some not tested at all, to go back to the care homes to spread a virus to the other care home residents. Since then, there have been 30 care home resident deaths, 19 of which are excess to the usual deaths in care homes. 19,000 excess care home deaths. Non-tested, no PPE for the care homes. Care home staff are 2 to 3 times more likely to catch this virus and die of it than the general working population. This is fact. We've been protecting the NHS, protecting the NHS beds at the cost of the care home residents, the most vulnerable people that we have in our society, and the wonderful dedicated staff who care for them. They've been neglected, they've been let down, they're dying and they're ill. Also, March and April this year, 11,800 care home residents were denied medical treatment because their GPs were too scared to go into the care homes, refusing treatment, and they refused hospital treatment. That's 11,800 care home residents. It's all there in the Amnesty International report if you wish to read it for yourselves. Okay? It's genocide. Protecting Granny like hell. I also want to talk about the hydroxychloroquine. Okay? Known drug. Fauci, in his auspices as the American Chief Medical Officer, published a study, 23rd of August 2005, into the efficacy of hydroxychloroquine into SARS viruses, known to be a treatment, known to be a preventative measure. Okay? They've known this for 15 years. Suddenly now, it's a dangerous drug. Okay? In France, where it is manufactured, in March it was taken off the shelves. In France, you can just go into the chemist and buy it. It was suddenly removed from the shelves. In America, it could be just prescribed like an antibiotic. All the doctors in America have been prevented from prescribing it. Okay? They say it's dangerous because the test they did was basically illegal. They gave 40 times the safe dose to the volunteers on the trial. They died. That's murder. This is fact. You can look into anything I'm telling you now, and it is fact. Okay? Hydroxychloroquine. You can make it yourselves. It's in lemon peel, lime peel, grapefruit peel. Okay? Grapefruit peel, it won't be recommended for certain patients on blood pressure medicines. But you take the peel, make sure there are no pips in it, just the peel only. Put it in a pan, cover it to the top with water, just the level of the peel. Make sure you put a lid on the pan. Bring it to the boil, and then simmer it for 2 hours. You must make sure you've got the lid on it, because the steam of the quinine is lost in the steam, okay? So you can make it yourselves. And then once it's cool, you take all the peels out, bottle it. It's good to keep for 9 months. You take 20 mils 4 times a day. So if you're having any symptoms, I advise you do this and look after yourselves, boost your immunity, okay? Thank you for listening. I've just got one more thing to say. Thank you. There's a rally in Wirral, Wallasey Town Hall, Sunday the 1st of November at 1 o'clock. So it'd be great to see most of you there if you can make it. Thank you for listening. Bye.
thank you so much. Absolutely amazing that people are coming up and just wanting to speak as well. So I think we've got about 5 or 6. Yeah, absolute real hero. Seriously, 100% thanks, Gazer, for that. So guys, just to keep so we can get through all these, I think we've got to wrap up about 5 o'clock. But if everyone could just take one step back, we've got to do it and got to say it, just so we can have a lovely, peaceful day again. So the next guy that's coming on, and it's amazing he's here. He's never lets us down, Piers, but he's always a bit late. So we got Piers Corbin. This guy is travelling the country as well, like Gazer is, and I'm just supporting Gazer and these guys too. He has been arrested, I've lost count, I think it's about 44 to 50 times. There he is, Piers Corbin.
Thank you. Wow, what a crowd. What a crowd. Well, it's amazing to be in Liverpool again. So I'm Piers Corbin from StopNewNormal.net and of course our movement. And we have this great banner here to unite the whole movement. We've got all the logos underneath. Now we're here specifically, I'm here to support and learn from your amazing fight back here in Liverpool. You are a beacon for the rest of the country. And what we've got to do, people here and around the country, have got to light some more beacons. And then we will be able to end this evil lockdown campaign to usher in a new world order. Yesterday in London we had 7,000 people marching, tremendous. We were singing the songs like now and we were chanting London, Liverpool, solidarity. So let's do that now. Liverpool, solidarity. London, Liverpool, solidarity.
London, Liverpool, solidarity.
Okay, yes. And we're now in a decisive period in this struggle. We're seeing now more and more fakery from the globalist megalomaniacs that want to take over us, our freedoms, our jobs, and in fact, the whole world. The only thing they're doing right now is they're upping the number of cases because they're doing more track and trace. And there's all these false positives and nonsense, so they just say there's more people ill. But there's not more people dying of anything. It is a con and a fraud. The purpose of the COVID laws is not to control COVID, it is to control you. And we asked Boris Johnson to prove there actually is a virus under standard tests, the standard Koch test. And he failed. He failed twice. We asked Bill Gates, he failed. The World Health Organization said, don't try and find the virus. Don't try and find it. Why is that? It does not exist. This COVID-19 virus is a hoax. There may have been something around in China. Was it a fake thing? Was it a bioweapon? Who knows? But it was used to unleash the most monstrous power grab the world has ever seen. And what we've got to do is we've got to break their lockdowns, break all their measures, or we lose.
Yeah.
We're not just around protesting, saying to the government, please do this, please do that. We're not protesting, we are fighting in order to break every move they make. Okay. Now the globalist power grabbers and their quislings are now getting desperate. Because you see, we had the biggest rally this century in Trafalgar Square on the 26th of September. That scared them, and some of you were there, and I want to applaud you who were there. Fantastic, it's a long way, I know. But then at the end of that rally, they decided they couldn't allow us to leave peacefully to go to Hyde Park. They wanted to say that we were contagion and therefore had to be broken up. So 7 minutes before we were due to end, they sent in the Territorial Support Group, the TSG, the anti-whatever, you know, terrorist squad. And they beat people with truncheons and arrested some. Well, they arrested a German doctor. I got an email from him. He's in Germany now. But that was a monstrous show of force in order to try and isolate us. But it hasn't isolated us because we've got more support now than ever because we fight back every time they attack us. And there's a question I've been asking myself, why though are they attacking Liverpool now? Because you see, Liverpool is strong. People in Liverpool don't take any shit from anybody, right? So why attack Liverpool now? I think it's like the miners' strike, 1984. Remember, they took on the NUM because the NUM were the strongest. Thatcher knew if she broke the NUM, she'd break the Labour movement, and she did. Because of traitors in the midst of the NUM. That's how it happened. I won't go into it now. But there were police agents in the NUM that betrayed that strike. So Arthur Scargill got tripped and defeated. And he's a hero, by the way. Arthur Scargill is a hero! So the way we win, it has to be 1 hit, 2 hits back. And we had just a quick example, squatting in the 1970s. We had that motto, 1 eviction, 2 squats. And we carried that out, and then the Tory GLC rehoused 10,000 squats in London. And the same people had said 2 years before, we were hippies, dropouts, political agitators and young tourists and had no right to housing from the state. And they changed their minds. Or actually, more to the point, we changed their minds. So that's the message. The numbers and the action count. Now in London, we have Sadiq Khan, who wants to lock down London more than even the government was. Yes. And he, of course, does dealings with the Metropolitan Police to send in the TSG. So we say, Sadiq Khan must go! Let's chant that. Sadiq Khan must go! Sadiq Khan must go! Sadiq Khan must go! And a few of the others along with him. Prissy Patel must go! Prissy Patel must go! Prissy Patel must go! Who else? But there's plenty more. Boris Johnson, let's do him. Boris Johnson must go! Boris Johnson must go! Okay. But what have we got to do? See, we've got to expand the struggle to everywhere. We've got to set up local our movement action groups around the country, and I know the supporters here, and they could do that. And we've got to have campaigns of explanation from these groups to explain to the public that what the con is. Because now the public's getting more divided. We're getting more on our side, but some of those against us are more and more against us. They're becoming completely brainwashed. You have to save them. You have to save them. And we've got to take the fight to them. Take the fight to the enemy. We were at Imperial College on the 7th of October, attacking their fake science. We were in Oxford on the 9th of October, doing the same thing. And there I was approached by the police and told, don't go to Cardiff on Sunday because you might be arrested. Well, I went to Cardiff on Sunday. And when we had a march after the rally, and it was a fantastic rally in Cardiff, some police came up to me and started the process, Mr. Corbyn, blah, 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 you know. And then I said, no, I've got a reason for being here. I'm here working. And he said, really, really, really? So I said, write it down. And then he looked around him, and there was 100 people surrounding him. including some ex-miners. So at that point he decided that discretion was the best form of valour, and he retreated and went off with his man and my name and address, of course, which he already had. So we won because of the numbers prepared to confront the state. And when we see resistance of some sort, because the Labour and other politicians, they are, you know, moving a bit because of what's happening. But we say, all right, a lot of these things they're accepting bribes, bribing. You see, we've got Lancashire now is going into a tier 3 lockdown, but they're keeping their gyms open. Unlike Liverpool, where the gyms are meant to be closed. We're fighting to keep them open, of course. But what bribe did they accept in order to have their gyms still open? I don't know. But you see, whatever they do, they're accepting the narrative. We have to smash the narrative of the contagion fear. Because that is the weapon in the minds of the people who are brainwashed. That is their secret weapon. It's in your head. You know, it's in the head of everyone wearing a mask. They're running away from you. But as you know, wearing a mask is nonsense. You see, it's expecting a fence to stop a fly. A fence will not stop a fly. A mask will not stop fapping or anything the size of a virus. It is just a nonsense. So, but what have we got going on? The next big attack on everybody is the so-called circuit breaker. The short-term circuit breaker. So what they're saying is lock down the whole country, really lock, stock and barrel for 2 weeks. And after that, we'll have the virus gone. And you can have Christmas. You can have Christmas with your family. Isn't that nice? So Boris is offering us Christmas as if we never had it. I say we're going to have Christmas on our terms, whatever Boris Johnson says. And furthermore, does anyone here believe that if they've locked us down for 2 weeks, they won't lock us down for another 2 weeks and another 4 weeks? That's right, they're liars, liars, and what else are they? Yes, they're liars, liars and liars. So, well, there's some MPs have been opposing the curfews, which is good. And recently MPs, in a good vote, there were 98 MPs, including my brother, voting against the extension of powers to be given to secret agents, spy cops and so on. Now some years ago, a long time ago, 70s and 80s, I was spied on by these spy cops, and I'm one of the principal witnesses in the inquiry into spy cop operations, which is reopening on the 2nd of November. Now that's an interesting time, isn't it? But you see, so these MPs are opposing extra powers, but they're not supporting us on COVID. But what the hell are these extra powers coming in for now? There's 2 things. One is because there's an inquiry about to happen, and the second is because they want the extra powers to impose this COVID monstrosity on you. So the MPs have got to join the dots together now. They've got to oppose the crackdowns on all freedoms. They've got to fight for all freedoms, not just their little ones which they are worried about. They must support us and become accountable. The Labour Party now is in a historic betrayal. It is utter disgrace. And at the same time, the Labour movement, the trade unions are also colluding with all this, because the trade unions have gone along with contagion fear and taken the money for furlough, with Boris's promise the jobs will come back. But the jobs are not coming back, they're going, gone. The trade union leaders have lied to us. I know there's individual trade union militants who are doing their best, but they're isolated. We have to give those guys and women every support we can, but the trade unions have to become accountable. My phone? It's on? Okay. How will you find it? Alright. Okay. Just a risk assessment for a copper. Okay. Now the same thing happened in Hitler's Germany. Hitler got into power on the backs of the Labour movement. He was the National Socialist Party. Remember that. And the brown shirts backed Hitler. The brown shirts did everything Hitler wanted. And they thought they would get something out of Hitler. But on June the 30th, 1934, hundreds of their leaders were murdered in the night of the Long Knives. They did their bidding because they were promised something. The trade unions now are doing the same thing. They are, that's right. Boris is not going to kill them, no. He doesn't need to, because they're working to destroy their own workforce. That is monstrous. They must stand with us or we will lose. So what will happen? To the jobs they're going, we're all going to end up in various mega corporations, mega corporation mini wages and 0 hours contract, and the globalists in power through the United Nations and the end of democracy as we know it. And really there's three ways to go in the future. One is the globalists win and we have a horrific state, like a permanent lockdown, like 1984, like the 1984 book. And I have a copy of him in my pocket over there. Or we can stay as we are somehow, i.e. this corrupt government, corrupt conflicts of interest in Parliament. If the conflicts of interest were removed from the cabinet, we'd have an empty cabinet. That would be a good thing, wouldn't it? Or we can win. If we win, we will roll back these things. We would have an accountable state. We would bring back and recall any MP or representative who voted against the interests of the people they were supposed to represent. We could have true democracy. That is what we have to fight for. You see, the choice is either the dystopian evil future the mega corporations want, or a new, brighter future of better freedoms and power to the people. There is no middle way. The old way of the so-called democracy last year will never, never come back, because the globalists will destroy it and make us into a cartel dictated to by the Bill Gates of hell and his cronies. Or we'll have our way. So it's really our way or no way. I think Perry Como said that, didn't he? Or something like that. Okay, so what is to be done now? Just to sum up a few things. We've got to build our movement groups, as I said. Go to StopNewNormal.net and the other groups, Stand Up X, Save Our Rights, to find out more. We've got to set up Liverpool Action Support Committees in other towns. So when your gym guys need more support, we can generate more support from Liverpool and beyond. Liverpool is the beacon, as I said, and we want more beacons. We've got to work harder to expose their lies. And the facts on vaccine have to be completely put into the daylight. You've heard about vaccines already, but the real facts are modern vaccines make people ill. Yes, the idea is they want to impose an experimental vaccine without any liability to the vax makers. Well, this is utterly monstrous. I say those politicians that want this, they should be vaccinated now and wait for 5 years and see how they fare. And then we'll know. Put their jabs in their own bodies. And in case you're in any doubt as to what their game is, the fact is the net worth of Bill Gates, Zuckerberg and Bezos has gone up by £150 billion in the last year. because that's on the back of their running vax and of course all the 5G and 4G installation, which also makes you have damages your immune system and gives you the symptoms of COVID-19. So that is really what people are getting. So what are the next events coming, just to let you know? Friday the 23rd, if you happen to be in London, 9:30, Marylebone Magistrates, my test case on the first 2 of my arrests. Be there if you can. And then Saturday the 24th, another rally in London. But if you could give out leaflets in Liverpool instead, that's fine. But the rally in London this time will be to march against the police state and vaccinations. Vaccinations historically under Stalinist Russia were a favourite tool of oppression. They'd grab people they didn't like, vaccinate them and lock them up, and you know, the rest is history. And when we say these things, people say, oh, this is conspiracy theory, Piers, conspiracy theory. Well, everything we warned about is coming true. Yesterday's conspiracy theory is today's truth. And as George Orwell said, in a society based on lies, speaking the truth is a revolutionary act. And that is what we've got to do now. So now then, to end with a few little more chants, how about no lockdowns save lives? Because it's us who saves lives, and Boris and the mega corporations' policies, which are killing people in care homes, killing people on the NHS waiting list, and making people ill and causing death. Our policies of getting rid of this nonsense saves lives. So, no lockdowns save lives. No lockdowns save lives. No lockdowns save lives. No lockdowns save lives. And we'll have no masking or tracking or distancing now. But on distancing, let's just understand that you people are, I know you're all within your social groups right now, officer, they're all within their social groups, but the fact is we're social creatures. You need to hug, talk, meet, shake hands with people to improve your happiness level and immune systems. And doctors approve this. So what we should be doing is hugging against the COVID con. So I say, do it now, hug your neighbour with permission against the COVID con. And officer, they're all in their own social groups now. Stay in your six and hug. Hug against the COVID con. Any more hugging going? Who's going to hug me? You can hug me. Thank you very much. We're in a new family group now. And you too. And you too. There's more than 6 here already. Okay. Alright, that's enough. That's enough. Thank you very much. Okay, are you feeling better? Fantastic. Okay. So, well, we needn't chant that because you know. But I think the main thing to say now is about have a chant on Stop All COVID Vax. Because that is the real danger which they want to make money. No vaccination without consent, or better, you see, we want to stop all these vax programs. You see, if they say, oh, it's voluntary, yeah, but your kid can't come to school until he's had a jab and all that. No, the vax programs now are to make money now. The vax programs in the future are to make more money then. So we got to stop them now. So we say, stop all COVID vax now. 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 Fantastic. And I think we'll just end then with what George Orwell reminded of in the historic choice between tyranny and freedom. We choose freedom! Freedom! Victor, we know the game now. We know the game plan. We've only read out one section of the game plan. If we do this lawfully, like fracking, we can beat COVID and we can beat this government. But we have to be smart. We have to not play their game. If we do this lawfully, we make sure the police know that we're on their side. Because we are lawful and they uphold the law. We want them to, again, arrest the criminals, put them in prison and not the victims. Some people are actually questioning about what they saw down in London. That was orchestrated to keep you away, to have you living in fear again. This is how many events we've had? 15 events. 16 events with this one. All right, yeah, Manchester, yes. 16 events that the police are facilitating us because we are lawful citizens. We are doing nothing wrong. But if we stand strong, and if we make sure that we do everything lawful, then we can bring down this government. It's so important now that you carry that in your head. And if you're thinking, well, they're going to do it anyway, I want you to remember, first of all, Paul, that stood up for me and Piers and said to the police, no. But I also want to remind you of a young man, a little lad called Ian. He died in 46 days in pain because he was vaccinated with meningitis C. 46 days, and at the end of it, he died. 46 days he led in pain. His family, witless, and then they were offered, believe it or not, compensation. Is that the biggest insult to any parent, that we will pay you for your child's suffering? Because that's what it's all about. It's always about the money. Follow the money. There are funds now set up to pay off people injured by vaccines, and you want proof that vaccines are bad. Why have a fund if there is no problem? So if you are going to get angry, we'll make sure you contain that anger and make sure that we work together and take that anger down to London. But if we do that, contain that, remember Ian, baby Ian, 46 days suffering before he died because he took a vaccine. His parents trusted the doctors. Remember that little man and make sure that he's your drive to keep it peaceful. And make sure that no other children are going to suffer. That little baby's picture should be ingrained on your mind. I put it up on my page, Geza Tariani, G-E-Z-A. Tariani, T-A-R-J-A-N-Y-I. All the information, Wes, Forgotten Heroes. Was it Forgotten Heroes? .co.uk. ForgottenHeroes.co.uk. It's heroes without an E, just to let you know. But we'll put that on our site. That's our site. That is going to link you up. So if I lose Facebook, I'm already banned till the 3rd of November, then you have a place where you can get all the information that you like, that you can get, the latest information. Also the place of where we're going to be, but most importantly, meetings like this, what we will endorse once we know those people are safe, because they are going to infiltrate us. They've now passed laws that they will imprison us, rape us, kill us and murder us. So if we say to you, we endorse this one, you know it's coming from a good source. Because if you trust me, you'll trust that site, and we will not lie to you. We will not let you down. We will put Boris in prison. We can't do it alone. We have to do it with Liverpool. We have to do it with London. We have to do it in Manchester. Every county in this country need to come together. Fill those coaches, get down to London, and we will stop this madness. We will get it back to sanity. So parent power and the same, let's see you in London on the 24th and the 31st and end the madness now. For Ian and for Paul, thank you. And what a great guy, what a great son of Liverpool you've got here. Come on mate, love you, come.
Thank you, Geza. Okay guys, so 16 events with your event yesterday and the one today, and the ones we've been doing as well, with speeches, marches and... Oh yeah, can everyone just take one massive step back please? We're nearly done here, police are working with us, absolutely amazing. There we go, cool. Have we got a lady called Lynn here, by any chance? There was a lady called Lynn that was going to be one of the speakers. Is she here? Is she here? Yeah, is she here though? Okay, yeah. If there's a lady called Lynn here anyway, we've got one more speaker, and then Lynn, you can jump on as well. So guys, I've just been asked to plug this event as well. There's a few. Next Saturday, St George's Hall. There's another one for you guys. We'll be in London, but really good luck to that. Invite, and really pack it out. We can literally change everything with Liverpool, seriously. And there's also one a gentleman's asked me to read out as well, in Wallasey Town Hall on the 1st of November, between 1 o'clock and 4 p.m. as well. That's the next one there. So I'm going to invite up my beautiful partner in life, and my business partner as well. She's got a speech to do. Are you ready? Cool. A beautiful partner, Lisa.
Hey everyone! Right, one thing I can honestly say to you, I speak to you right now as a mum and also as a grandmother. So obviously what I'm going to say here now comes from the heart, but I do have to read off what I put together. So as adults, we're all entitled to our opinions, and this is mine. If you knew how long you had left, would you still act like all this is normal? This is now way beyond the virus. The High Court in Spain has ruled against the government that lockdown is illegal and against human rights. Please don't look back. Oh, sorry guys. Please don't look back 5 years from now and have to admit that you spent an entire year of your life wearing a mask, cooped up in your house, avoiding all the people that you love, and a year in your life that you will never ever get back, because time is precious. So let me say this, and I'm not saying this virus isn't real, or that there aren't people that could really be affected, and if you're a risk, take precautions, absolutely. Every single day we are risking ourselves through car accidents, flu, illnesses, and even basically, well, everyday life. Our days were numbered way before this, and that has not changed. But we should not be forced to live in fear, and that's exactly what this government is doing to us. We went from being a free nation to being told we couldn't go to school, couldn't go to our grandma's house, couldn't pay respects to a loved one through a funeral. We couldn't get married. And when we were allowed to do these things, we were told how long we could be there, how far apart we have to be, and what to wear. Yes, our health matters, but you know what else matters? Family, friends, school dances, football games, family vacations, neighbourhood barbecues, and life itself. One day you're going to hug your grandma, your mum, your dad, your brother for the last time. One day your best friend will cry on your shoulder for the last time. One day your son will play his football game for the last time. And one day your daughter will wear her last prom dress. One day they'll have their very last day of school. And one day you'll spend your last day laughing with your mum. And one day you're going to dance your last dance. But don't waste these days by living in fear. Because that's what the virus is all about. Control and fear. Your time on earth matters. Live your life while you have the chance, and we will all die someday, virus or no virus. So guys, when I was a little girl, one of my favourite movies was called The Wizard of Oz. And if you remember, we had the lion. The lion had courage, and that's what we have got. We also had the scarecrow, and the scarecrow had a brain in the end, obviously. And that is what we have got. We've got a brain. But even more important than that, it is all about heart. Heart, guys, and that's what the Tin Man had. We have got heart. We've got heart for our country. So let's say no to the masks. Let's say yes to breathing fresh air. Let's say no. Let's say no to social distancing. Let's say yes to hug and loves. And let's say no to the vaccine. Because we have an immune system. God gave us an immune system, or whoever your creator gave you that immune system. So all I can say is live your life. Don't live your life in fear. Live every single day that you can with no fear. Because their biggest weapon is fear. And once you take away that fear, they've got absolutely nothing. Nothing. So once again, Liverpool, thank you so much. I absolutely love Liverpool. Absolutely, babes, that's what it's about. Once you become fearless, that is it. And people are living in so much fear, they won't even step outside the door because obviously mainstream media and television have basically instilled that fear into us. But it's no more, guys. Look at Liverpool. So proud of Liverpool rising. So proud of Liverpool staying together. Staying together and supporting the businesses, supporting the gyms. That is what it's about, guys. We are going to beat this. We are going to win. And we are going to take back our country. There we are, guys.
Brilliant, amazing, thank you, Lisa. So, we've actually got a young girl coming on now, age of 21. I think most of you guys will have seen her speak in Liverpool, probably at one of the first marches that was ever done, and one of the first speeches that was ever done. So this young girl is actually talking about a youth platform, and this is what it's all about, guys. Gaze and I have been travelling around, and we've actually been to a lot of the universities where they were actually locked in. Some of these universities, guys, had chains on the fire exits, which is absolute criminal. So it's all about our youth, it's all about our children, it's all about our elderly, and Laura Jane is just about to chat to you about the youth platform so our youth can get their voices heard.
Thank you. Hi, Liverpool. It's great to see so many people here today. So I've only just started speaking out recently because I realised there just wasn't quite something right with current events. But I also started to speak out because I realised that so many of people my own age didn't. And it concerns me the most to see just how many of my own generation are living in the fear that's been drilled into the world from the beginning. But it's even more concerning to see how many are just acquiescing without question. They're just doing simply because they've been told to do so, and they're not thinking for themselves. Now, I've lost many friends since I've spoke out, but I've gained many, many more. And I'm now involved with an organisation called Save Our Rights UK. And if you haven't heard of them already, they are a fantastic organisation fighting for change. And Louise, the main organiser, she was here yesterday speaking out. And I just want to reinforce their message. I want to encourage you all to get behind Save Our Rights UK if you haven't already. But most importantly, I want to encourage young people, my own age, to do so. I've been involved with them as an advocate for my generation for many weeks now. And ever since, I've managed to get in contact with more than 10 young people who are willing to stand with me to make a change and keep spreading the truth to our peers in whatever way that we can. We have a platform where we're all connected, but I want to connect with many, many more because I know for a fact that there are many other young people out there who know the truth, and I know for a fact that there are many out there who are wanting to know the truth. It does not matter how much you know or how much you want to know. If you want to make a change, join me. We have an email that you can contact to get involved, which is youth@saveourrights.uk, or you can find me on Facebook and Twitter, or just come and talk to me today. I'll give you all the information. And you lot out there with young people in your families who you know that will want to get involved, encourage them to do so, because there's never been a more important time for people, young and old, to start using their voices. There's never been a more important time to come together as one to make the change that has been desperately needed in the world for so long. And I'd just like to finish by setting a challenge to everyone here today. From today, make it your aim to inspire at least one person, and by doing so, you will double the number of people here today. Ask them why they're doing what they're doing. Encourage them to think about why they're doing so. Is it logical? Is it backed up scientifically? And then inform them of what they don't know. Question, encourage, inform. And we've got this, guys. We can do it. Thank you.
Yay!
Brilliant, thank you Laura so much. So as you know guys, the police have worked so well with us today. Obviously it's not the gentleman that's standing over there, but we do need to wrap up, and it needs to be 4:15, but we're going to finish just a touch early just to make sure we keep it peaceful, stay within the rules. But just before we finish off guys, we've got a little girl here that's actually made some signs herself, and it's Charlotte, and she wants to show you these herself. Come on. Freedom! 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 Way to go, Charlotte. Thank you, Charlotte, so much. So guys, yeah, we're travelling the country literally every single day. We're going to wrap it now. Every single day. We're actually in Hartlepool tomorrow, Birmingham the next day. We're in Norwich the day after that on the Wednesday. We are in Bristol on the Thursday, and then we're in Cornwall Piers on Friday. So guys, we're going to finish off with some songs as well. What the police have asked, if everyone, when we disperse, can do it quickly and just go whoomph, so it's all done. Is that okay? And thank you Liverpool, absolutely amazing. Tons of love, keep fighting, see you in London!
There's a golden sky and the sweet silver sound.
Alright, alright.
Walk out through the rain. Walk out through the rain. Oh, leaves me
Oi. Mate, get you with them scales with the t-shirts on.
They must know me.
Thank you. I think the inside.
Keith, you're filming it.
Yeah, I'm filming
You
things.
won't film what I tell him to do.
I was going to say, Jesus isn't coming back, he's inside of every one of us. You know that. That's what's happening right now. You know that. You know that.
I can see it here.
I know that.
You see the spirit at work.
Hey, get them t-shirts on with the girls.
Get in the middle of you two girls.
Hey.
Keep our vibes high.
Hey.
Look after each other. We've met the most beautiful people, seriously.
Well then, girls.
And these feeder camps who end up going into them will be full of the
Can I have
most
a hug,
beautiful
love? Yeah.
people.
Go on, take it.
Vaccination. Okay, guys, we're going to have to wrap up like.
Can I go in the middle to film? I'll film. That's what it's all about.
What I wanted to ask you was, what do you think about the Labour Party in Liverpool and Joe Anderson's behaviour in accepting the 7 million?
Well, the Labour Party now, as led by Keir Starmer and a lot of the so-called left as well, are just tailing Boris Johnson. Far-right Boris Johnson, and now they're backing him. And accepting various bribes or whatever to carry on the narrative is totally unacceptable. We have to destroy the COVID lie narrative. And they're doing things which accept it. So we say no, and people have to resist like the gym owners and others are.
What are your views now on the new Labour leader?
Well,
Keir Starmer?
he's as big a globalist or even a bigger globalist betrayer than Boris Johnson. I mean, I'm totally against Boris Johnson, don't get me wrong, but Starmer is a disgrace to the Labour Party.
So the Labour Party, do you think it still represents the working class people?
Well, the leadership is not. Labour Party members represent working class people. A fair number of MPs in Labour represent the working class, but not the majority.
Hang on, just a sec, love, just a sec, let me carry on. What I was going to ask you was...
Well,
you know,
they're in a minority, the ones who do.
What I wanted to ask you was your views. You criticised the unions up there.
Yeah.
We've got a Unite in Liverpool, so
Yeah.
biggest union in Europe. You criticised them, but then you said we need to get them on board. But surely if they get infiltrated, they start to take over, because they always do. The unions always take over, don't they?
There are some trade union members and shop stewards or whatever representatives who are really on our side, and I met them yesterday on the demo. But the leadership, of course, is tailing Boris Johnson, just like the German Labour movement did in the 1930s.
Do you think the shadow cabinet is working in collusion with the Tories as well?
I would say so, yeah.
So we're in a bit of a pickle, really.
We are.
And what do you think about this? We've got some...
Resistance on the ground that counts now.
Sorry?
Resistance on the ground is what we need. Physical opposition and breaking of the COVID problem.
Yeah. So I shared before, I don't know if you heard me. I shared, you might have come late after I shared, but the people want to hear honesty. They want to hear something that's profound, that has depth and weight. And I find that at these meetings, people are speaking like this. There doesn't seem to be any deceptive narrative coming from the people who speak at these events. And I think that's a marvellous thing. I don't know whether you've noticed that. And what are your views on that? Oh, please let me finish. Yeah.
You mean there's no what sort? Nobody on these rallies accepts the fake hoax, virus narrative. No. Well, that's great. Was that your question?
No, there's another thing too I wanted to ask you. I've got cancer because of the tumour's massive because of late diagnosis because of the coronavirus.
Yeah.
Even though I was under the specialist, it took 8 months to give me the correct exams to find out I had cancer. So the tumour doesn't wait, it's got bigger. So I spoke today on behalf of the cancer sufferers and people who've got cancer who are going to get late diagnoses and die. And it could, I don't know if you saw the article in The Guardian about this, but the thing is, a lot of people are going to die because of the coronavirus.
They are.
But the thing is, what got me, and I'll conclude with this piece because I know you're busy.
No, it's all right. I mean, I'll take your address and your name and put you in touch with some people who fought cancer and
What got me,
won.
what bothers me and concern me is the media and the behaviour of the BBC and other media groups. They're going into these hospitals. Like
Should take down the BBC.
Well, they went into the Royal Hospital and they had nurses dressed in what can only be described as Portland down suits.
Yeah, I know.
With masks on and all sorts of things. And yet,
It's a psychological operation.
but there's nurses in there who are telling you this isn't a reality. So why are they telling us lies? But this is blatant lies. Why are they doing this? What is the agenda that must behind all this?
It's a psychological operation. The mask is a symbol of submission. When you get enough people doing that, they'll impose more restrictions and carry on into
But why
a new
are they doing it,
dystopia.
Pierce? What's their main objective?
It's for the mega corporations to rule the world and increase their rate of profits.
So the billionaires are behind this. The 2,000 billionaires. There's only 2,250.
The billionaires are behind it, yeah.
Okay, thanks, Pierce. Thanks very much.